This is Kugan Cassius for IFLTV. We're in Riyadh. It's Latino Fight Week, Latino Night from Saudi Arabia. I'm delighted to be joined by the legendary Mr. B-Hop, Bernard Hopkins. We got here in the end, Bernard.
Yes, everything that's supposed to be in is definitely in. Good to see you. Good to be in your presence.
Much appreciate your words, Bernard. Let's talk about the main event come Saturday night. What do you know about Billam Smith? How much of him have you watched ahead of his clash with Zurdo Ramirez this week?
Well, dangerous and always will be, no matter who gets in the ring with him. And also very, very fundamentally sound in every aspect of the sweet science. So Zurdo's going to have his hands full. And you got to give respect to the longevity of being a champion. You keep your title for extended time for a reason. And you get past that first year and goes on to a second year and then on and on, you know that you put, and it shows that you put time and passion about keeping it, because it's so hard to get and to defend it time out and time in. It really shows that when you fight a guy in that mindset, or have that mindset, is really going to be you got to take it. It's not going to be given, and that's the key. That's what I see come Saturday with that Cruiserweight Championship unification.
But do you think people have been a little bit too critical now of Zurdo's career since the loss to Bivol, and have put a lot of emphasis on that loss to Bivol?
No, I think that loss to Bivol enhanced his marketability, and not only that, it showed not just because he came back strong with the tough opponent and pulled it out and showed that he can also use the things that he didn't use with Bivol, whether it would have worked or not. You've seen a growth in that setback. All right, on record, yes, it's a loss, no denial, but it wasn't a setback. I believe he elevated himself even with that loss. And there's fighters in the past, and there will be some in the future, that had a loss, their very first one, and they made something of that first loss and became, as myself, a Hall of Fame and successful. And not comparison by no means, because Zurdo needs an opportunity to be achieved and achieve greatness on that path. But don't rule anyone out. Either guy. This is going to be a shootout. Duck. Take cover, because it's going to be fun for us to watch, but it's going to be exciting for the boxing world in the world.
That is in Riyadh this Saturday night. Before that, on Friday, the much talked about, well, I don't know what to call it really, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Are you in favour of this fight happening or not, Bernard, being a historian, a former fighter yourself? What do you think about what's happening in Dallas on Friday?
I think you're going to see two individuals that's great at what they do. Tyson was great at one time doing what he's doing Saturday, and for many years, probably 2.5 decades or more. And Jake Paul created something and turned it into something bigger. Entertainment at its highest level when it comes to combat sports. I look at it as entertainment only. If I was a young fighter looking for some educational skills that come out of that, it wouldn't be something that I would suggest that would be something that you should watch or look at. But if you want to be entertained, then it should be on your first list, because it's Mike Tyson. Anything can happen, correct? It's Jake Paul, who's been a master in creating the attention of parts of fans of the universe. So he has a quote-unquote sell pitch, and Mike Tyson is Mike Tyson. So there's going to be people that's going to watch. Whether they break records or not, I ain't going to go that far. When I say break records, I'm talking about numbers. I'm talking about everything shut down. It took away viewers from, say, a football game or a basketball game, college, right? I don't think it's going to interfere with anything else that might be going up against the Jake Paul Mike Tyson pay-per-view fight that's going to happen. So what did that tell you? When Mike Tyson fought as a professional fighter, we wouldn't be talking about going to a basketball game or going to our son's soccer game or anything like that. It would be more talked about getting ready for that fight. To be shopping for clothes and where we're going to eat after it's over with. These are the things that separates the sweet science of boxing from entertainment of entertainment.
Bernard, at the age Mike Tyson's at, 58, the age Jake Paul's at, 27, can you in your brain see a situation where Jake Paul knocks Mike Tyson out? Can you see that? Like foresee that in your brain somewhere?
Anything can happen, especially at that age. I mean, we are human, and believe it or not, in spite of the great success that Mike Tyson has had, he would tell you first that he's human. And sometimes you're vulnerable when you're that age, even more now. I mean, we retire for a reason. And let me deal with logic for a minute. Logic tells, I believe, any individual, whether she or he are in denial or not, that it get a certain time of age where that job you had before is too taxing on your body. It's too much of an effort that you can no longer fulfill. That's when you know, whether it's basketball, hockey, football, when you into a high combat sport of that magnitude, you will find out real soon that your time had passed. Every generation gets that moment if you stay around long enough. It could be a blessing and a curse at the same time.
But just a quick couple of things before I let you go. We're at the workouts here, by the way, for the Riyadh card this week. What do you think of Eddie Hearn's comments that he wants to fight your friend Oscar De La Hoya? Have you seen this back and forth between the two of Oscar and Eddie Hearn?
Yeah, I mean it's been going on for not as long as Oscar and other individuals, right? I just say that other individuals, UFC, Dana White. So, but listen. There's been time after time where you had disagreements in boxing, who's the best, who has the best, who's the best promoter. You know, at the end of the day, when you tally the numbers up and the year ends and you look at the fights that you put on as a promoter based on the fights the other promoters put on and do a poll and let the fans vote, however they vote, on who had the best performance as promoters this particular year. Hey, that's taking a shot. It's taking a chance. You might come up third. You might come up second. And you might come up first. So I'm hoping the fans hear this to be able to understand no matter what and who you root for, at the end of the day, there will be a poll close to the end of the year when, I guess around Christmas time, weeks before then, when things shut down in boxing into a reboot in 2025 in January, that they should do a poll. And they ain't got to do a poll with 10 promoters because they don't exist. You got at least 3 that you can put on the poll list and say, who put on the best shows in 2024? Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy Promotions, right? Just say Golden Boy Promotions. Eddie Hearns, or Top Rank. or every category they want to put it in. They could put someone else first, and we could be second, we could be third. But the poll is there. Click on the button on who, because you gotta remember, these are the fighters, the fans that's in the know. There's enough of them out there to see and let the chips fall where they may lay on who they think put the best shows on for 2024 in boxing. And that's championship fights and non-championship fights. That's how you do it. I'm biased. I'm going to say it's us. What else I'm going to say? They're going to say it's them. What pretty girl out of 3 going to tell you that she's not prettier than the other one? Even if she knows she's not. This is the confidence you're supposed to have. So leave it up to the people. The people vote you in politics and the people vote you out, correct? They got the power. The fans got the power. They don't buy a ticket. They don't buy a pay-per-view. Pay-per-view, you got to give it to them wholesale prices. And if they're in demand because you got great shows and great matches put up, then they'll pay the price you put out there. That is the free market of not only capitalism, but giving them what they choose to have and they thriving to have is the best fight the best. And speaking about the best fighting the best, because you didn't ask me it yet, but you was going to ask me it. I see it in your eyes and your spirit. Riyadh season, Turkey, vowed to put on the best fights, the best fighters fight the best, and make the best fights, if possible. There's no excuse now for a fighter to say that he couldn't get the best fighter to prove that he's the best out of the belt holders, to prove that he is the superior and the best out of that weight division. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. Because, listen, the time is now. You got our father, the bully. My brother, assalamu alaikum. Good to see you. How you feel? Good. Another future champion, very soon, sir. Another future champion, very soon. The fans are the choice makers on who they believe is putting on the best shows, and they will continue in 2025 and on, inshallah, to be able to support the fights that they want. Game is over now. No longer should a B-level fighter or C-level fighter fight an A-plus fighter. We had enough of that. Literally, my era was the last era where the dying breed existed, right? The James Toney, the Roy Jones, myself. I mean, do I go on? Do we throw Trinidad in there? Want me throw Antonio Tarver? Who else? What do you want? I came on the cusp of Mike McCullum. I mean, come on, man. Before then, it was the Leonard era, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler era. What are we talking about here? That's now having an opportunity to reboot himself with the era now and in the future as we go. This is the reboot, restart of boxing on the biggest platform, resources to back fights up completely. What is the excuse now? There's none, unless you don't want to fight. And that's the pressure for those who want to hide, because every pugilist is not innocent and saying that he wants to fight everybody, but behind closed door he don't. And he use his worth that he's lack of, or the worth that he's arguing that he's not getting, is now it's going to be fair, negotiated at the table, where you weren't going to make that before. What's the problem now? So a lot of things going to get exposed. See, before you change things, things must get exposed. And those who really say they want to fight the best, those who say they want to fight the best in their weight division, they get an opportunity to fight the best in their weight division, and now they can't hide. This is the beauty. Everything gonna get exposed now. You no longer can say the money is not there. You no longer can say the money is not there. You can no longer say, well, my manager, your manager manage you because he wants to get paid too. He wants to manage you to get the right value for yourself, correct? So the resources are there. So what's the problem? What's for real, tell me why. They're being forced to submit now. And that's the key. They're gonna have to submit, that they no longer feel that they are the best in that division, because from the best fights the best exposes who really is the best. Who don't like that in fight boxing is? What fan or fighter don't want that opportunity? Nah, you're gonna have to earn this, and they ain't given. Sorry about a little passionate. You know, I get a little.
We love it. We love
I
it.
get a little passionate about this.
We love it.
And I love the game, and I love the sport, and I also love the history that is set for me to make history. Can't disrespect that. Until the last breath of my body, I got to continue to speak that energy and that values to every boxing fan out there.